here at the beautiful Fable in Melbourne CBD with Alessandro Nardini. He's the GM, Chief Mixologist here. Alessandro, tell us a bit about yourself.
100%. My name is Alessandro, come from Italy, a bit far away. Definitely that type of guy that loves movies, definitely Wolf of Wall Street type of guy. I like to research about financial markets, it's something that I got really in the deep inside myself. So financial markets, stock market, these sorts of things, so it gets me really interested. And then obviously during the years I developed a bit more passion and focus into the hospitality industry. I love to be around people. Something I really like is to find out about new products, new trends in the market, and just hear the story behind them, so the purpose or a reason behind any product.
Ah, cool, interesting. And so how'd you start with mixology? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so I used to work in a bar in Italy. That's where I first started. I used to work casually while I was studying, to pay for my studies and such. So I started to work there, and I came across very passionate people, and that's where I learned all the basics. And then once I moved to Australia, so traveling around and working around, I've been always very lucky to work with very like-minded people most of the times. Not always, but most of the times, that happens. And that working with other people, sharing the passion, sharing your knowledge, sharing your sets of skills as well, and learning from everybody, and then more, got me to express more myself into this type of industry.
Okay, so you're from Italy, good place, motherland. When did you come to Melbourne, and how did that shape your career as a GM in hospitality?
Yeah, so I believe it or not, I used to study a lot when I was back home, and I used to study to become a pilot in the Air Force. And then after a selection that I've done there, was a lot of studying and stuff. I had some physical issue on one of my knees, so I had to change my career perspective completely. So I was working casually, as I was saying, in a bar, and I was like, well, I can do this, so I'm just gonna move somewhere else. I want to go away from here, I want to take a break, and I'm just gonna travel, and I'm gonna work somewhere. And I literally spin the globe, pointed a finger into the map. It was like, land of kangaroos, let's do it. So I just came to Australia. I left everything and everybody. I was 20, so most of my decisions were made were not that sort of clear set of mind, you know what I mean? So just very impulsive, very let's do it, let's go. So came here in Australia, and then I fell in love with Melbourne. So I spent most of my time in Melbourne, even in Australia. I traveled a little bit, but most of my time was spent in Melbourne. And then yes, I started to work in hospitality, and then I just fell in love for the industry. And I've been very, very lucky, as I was saying, working with very like-minded people that transmitted more passion to me as well. And from day one, my idea was to do something more, to do something special. So I've always been working very hard to step on to the next role, and then the next role, and the next role, until today. And until today, it's still a long way to go.
Well, tell us a bit about this beautiful venue, Fable, that we're in right now.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, Fable's sort of my baby for me. We opened this venue from ground zero, from scratch completely. When I got here, this used to be an all-Greek restaurant, and then after COVID, probably had these issues. So we came on board and with a different crew, and we'll just reset the whole thing. So it was interesting. It was the first time going and choosing what type of chairs I wanted in the venue, what type of tables, what type of settings, what type of service, what type of back bar. So it was just very interesting. I think it was a step into ownership of the venue. It made me feel very part of the ownership. I'm very grateful to the directors, because they've been always very supportive, and they make me do my mistakes, make me do my wins, and at the same time always there to support. So that's something very that I really appreciate it, and it got me very bound to the venue itself. So I live it as is in myself,
Yeah, it's a great place. Who would typically come here? What kind of crowd comes in on a weekend, would you say?
Yeah, so like Fable is for everybody. So it's a cocktail bar. We've got like a strong focus on food as well. So we get our foodies, we get our cocktail nerds, yeah, 100%. So and we love them, right? So at the same time, we get like some couples coming through. You know, like this view is romantic. It's beautiful. At night time it shines through, like, you know, it's a beautiful spot to be. But then we get like our business oriented people, we get our corporate crowd, but it's a nice mix, you know, and I feel like everybody should feel welcome at Fable as well, so when they come here they can just live the Fable experience.
Yeah, obviously the staff are very professional. I really love the way they sort of talk to clientele, ask them about their likes and dislikes, and create cocktails around that. Pretty interesting, the industry at the moment, as you know. How do you feel about the industry at the moment? What do you think the trends are, and what's your take on it?
Yeah, I guess like the industry is constantly evolving, right? So what was applying to the industry 5 years ago, not necessarily is applying it right now, you know? So there's a lot of new trends coming through. Something that I've really noticed, and I think like it's a very positive impact into the industry, is that people's not focusing anymore on how much they're drinking, but it's more what is going in their cups. So it's more concentrated about the quality of the products we use, the type of service they receive, and the whole experience that they actually receive in the venue. So like definitely like using quality products, it's definitely like a big win currently into the market trends. But at the same time, also some special effects, you know, like we live in the Instagram era, like social media, pictures, people want to sort of like drink and eat with their eyes a little bit more as well. So that's even like a little bit of what we do at Fable, trying to, you know, get that wow effect on the table, obviously without like compromising the quality of the product, but making sure that there's that wow effect that gets that little escapism for the customer to come to a venue and just don't have like just food or drinks, but like the whole experience, like they're in a magical spot.
So you have created some fantastic cocktails using Prana chai as an ingredient. Tell me, how did you get your inspiration for those drinks? What was the process? Tell us a bit about it.
What I've done in these cocktails is trying to showcase the versatility of the tea as an ingredient into something that is not just a simple cup of tea. You know, it can be like a cocktail, it can be like a special ingredient and such. So we use like a couple of different ingredients in there. We use the classic blend, and then we use the turmeric, and then we use the decaf as well. And we create a range of cocktails that are like different from each other, but at the same time, you know, nice and delicious.
Great. Can you take us through those 3 recipes that you designed for us?
So yeah, the Doctor is the first cocktail. It reminds a bit of a penicillin kind of twist, which is a cocktail that is sort of like it's sort of like a remedy for a cold, we will say. Whiskey base, and then usually has some ginger and honey notes. We obviously using the notes from the tea itself, so we get that ginger character shining through. And we've got a base of bourbon, and then a chai and honey syrup that we make in ours, using original blend from Prana chai, and then some fresh citrus, which gives a bit of life to those warm flavors. It's shaken, then it's strained into a nice rock glass, and it's garnished with a lemon peel. The second cocktail is called Headstone. It's something a bit more earthy kind of style of cocktail. For that one, we use an agricole style rum from Australia, from Queensland. So always try to support local products as much as possible. And in that case, we're using the turmeric blends. And in the turmeric chai, we let it steep into a wine reduction, which we make in house. This is a very sustainable ingredient. I guess you can make it at house as well. You can make it at home as well. So for example, when you open that bottle of wine or red wine that doesn't go through for any weird reason, doesn't go through for the first couple of days and starts oxidating, instead of chucking it away, we can just like cook the wine and then reduce it into a syrup. And the moment that we reduce it into syrup, you can use it with soda water, you can use it with anything. What we did is, like, when it's still hot, we put it some turmeric chai inside, and we let it steep for a while. And that obviously gets all that character and fresh notes to come into the wine reduction. So then we use the agricole style rum, the wine reduction, some fresh citrus, and some Cynar, which is an Italian Amaro. That uses mostly artichokes in their blend to give through those vegetable notes, and then some orange citrate, which is an ingredient that can be easily substituted at home using some fresh orange juice and some fresh citrus. So that obviously gives a bit more acidity to the drink, a bit more of those juicy notes and stuff. And then we garnish it with a nice slice of orange and a cherry, and that's finished. This last drink is called the Boulevard. The Boulevard is something a little bit more classic, a bit more sophisticated. It's definitely like a great drink at the end of like a long night, you know, at work. It's made of like mostly two ingredients, but we play on these ingredients a little bit more. So it's made using a base of white rum that gets infused into the decaf blend. So I wanted to use the decaf blend just to show that even without the caffeine, you know, all the flavors and spices are still there. So obviously like the black tea notes are substituted, but you still get those tonics coming through. And using the alcohol extraction in comparison to the water extraction obviously is a lot stronger, so you can extract flavors a lot quicker as well. So we get a lot of those toasted cardamoms and Sudanese notes really bringing to light. And then to this blend we're gonna add some vermouth that is previously infused with some cocoa husks that we are using value for other ingredients as well. So obviously that brings a lot more chocolate notes, and you get that sort of like chocolate Sudanese caramel kind of vibes. And those ingredients are stirred together, and then obviously presented into a nice cocktail glass, chilled, and had a little cherry on the top.
Well, Alessandro, thanks, mate. Thanks for all the time you put into drinks, and thanks for inviting us in here to this beautiful venue, Fable up here. It's fantastic, mate. Well done. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thanks for everything.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, go on, that was fun.